What is happening, everybody? What's going on? Instagram folks, what's going on? YouTube people, everybody who's watching the TK and Drinks, thanks for showing up today. If you're here, you probably know what it is. It's Tuesday. That's another TK and Drinks Tuesday night live coming at you today, 1/11/22. Getting right into January, rolling right along. It's our second one of the year already, and feeling good. Got a good vibe for tonight. Got some notes down. Got some information. One thing I'm going to do real quick is turn down this dang light because it is absolutely bright in my eyes, burning my face. There we go. We're back, and here we go. All right. So thank you all for showing up today live. TK and Drinks. As I was saying, I'm your host, TK. The curator here at TK and Drinks on Instagram, the aspiring BJCP judge. I don't know if I should call myself aspiring anymore. I've actually judged at a competition. I guess I'm always aspiring to greater heights, but BJC competition, BJCP me judge. Technically waiting for my what do they call that? The actual evaluation to come back. Took that test back in October. Knocked that out of the park. Hopefully, I think I did pretty darn good, if I have to say so myself. But still waiting for that to come back. Supposed to be here sometime in the summertime, so we'll know. So until then, we're gonna call myself a provisional BJCP judge, and again, curator over at TK and Drinks on the YouTube, where I do reviews, interviews, do homebrew videos, and got, always adding new stuff. The food and review videos, always got more stuff coming onto the palette. I see what I did there was a little play on words. Sorry, I'm punny. Anyway, like I said, thank you for being here tonight with me while I crack stupid jokes and drink a beer. And today's beer is going to be no exception. Unfortunately, it's not a mead, because a lot of my meat I have right now is all allocated for review shows and future purposes. So I did bring along a special beer for today. And so today I'll be bringing in, this is called the Cocoa Dose from Horus Aged Ales. Horus Aged Ales. This is the Cocoa Dose. So if you don't know anything about Horus Aged Ales, which some people might not, I don't know, let me give you a little background on them. They're formed in like 2000, I want to say 2014 when Kyle started doing his stuff. I think his last name is Horop, Hoharrop, Horop, something. Super cool looking dude, super cool sounding cat. He's got this spot over there in Oceanside, California. I think that's just north of San Diego. And he's an aerospace engineer who basically decided he wanted to age some really cool beers and stuff and have a really cool facility. So he didn't want anything, he said, to touch stainless steel because it's a huge part of your startup costs, and it's just something he wanted to avoid doing. So he started co-brewing at somebody else's place where they were using, I imagine they were using plastic to get their work going and to get all that stuff started. But then he started fermenting and everything inside oak barrels and oak fermenters and whatnot. I was pretty sure it's all barrel related stuff. And this guy does stouts, does barley wines, does aged strong ales, does all sorts of crazy things you could think of. Huge flavor profiles, big bodied stuff, collaborates with tons and tons of people. I want to say the guy's done 200 plus collabs with, I don't know if about 200 different people that he's collabed, but I mean, like, project wise, I'm sure he's done, I think he's done 150 something beers that I've seen he's registered on online. So he might only be doing, I guess maybe like 100 collabs might be a little bit closer, but still, I mean, he does, at least half of his beers are collabs. And this one is not a collab, but this one is no exception to the quality and kick-assness that they do. So as you can see, he's got the hawk on there. All of his, the vast majority of his beers all have a hawk or a bird on them in some way, shape, or form. Horus, the Egyptian god, was his moniker, I believe, was the hawk or the eagle. So he's always got something on there. Very nice, well-drawn artwork. He's got this artist that just always produces these beautiful pieces. whenever you see them, you can pretty much know that it's a Horus bottle just by the artwork on there. You don't have to dick around. You just see that anytime you see a bird that, I mean, it looks like it came out of like a nature book. It has something cool in the background, near flowers or florals or flourishes or something like that. You pretty much can be guaranteed it's gonna be a Horus bottle. So this one is the Cocoa Dose, and this is an imperial stout made with chocolate, coffee, hazelnuts, toasted coconut, and vanilla beans added, and then of course done in an oak barrel. So it's gonna have those oak barrel characteristics to it. It's gonna have all those other characters. Now I believe, if memory serves, I've had this one. It's a 12%er as well. That's what I was looking for there. Now I believe I've had this one as well. At a past beer share, but I can't quite remember because it was probably late into the day. And once you start getting late in the day, if you don't write it down, you pretty much kind of, some things start to blend together other than, I really like that one, it was really good, and start getting kind of foolish with stuff like that. So definitely cracking that open. Here we go. Glass courtesy of the folks there at Bottle Logic in Anaheim. Not free, but the other ones who made it. So I'm going to top this bad boy right up. See how thick and full bodied that is? That thing is out of control. Oh, I can't put it back there. Like hardly any carbonation in it whatsoever. It is, as far as I'm concerned, their stuff is in the top, probably in the top 10 stout makers, aged stout makers, if not the top 5 in America, and if not the world, based on tons and tons and tons of people's experience with these guys. They also broke out and started doing some meads as well. He's got a meadery called Honey Hawk, or I believe that's what he calls his meadery, is Honey Hawk Meadery. It's getting the same type of artwork that the other ones have, with the bird designs and everything. I think he's got 4 or 5 or 6 different flavors out now. And each one of them is a different color bottle with a different bird on him. They're all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or whatever. And he got raspberry, blueberry. I think he's got a black currant one. A couple other different ones. I haven't got to see any of those yet. What's going on? Cat's a Retro Meadery. What's going on, Mike? So yeah, if you get a chance, check out Honey Hawk Meadery, as ran by the cats there at Horus Aged Ales out of Oceanside, California. Their blueberry mead just took gold at Mazer Cup for sweet berry mellow-mells. That thing was an absolute. I had a pinch of it that was left over, and man, that thing was absolutely just everything you'd expect a gold medal blueberry mead to be. It was sweet without a sweet mead anyway. It was super sweet without being cloying. It was full-bodied, but it didn't but it had a hint of dryness to it, so you were able to go back for more without feeling like it was just going to weigh you down and just sit in you like a full, you just ate dinner, you still want to have something for dessert that's not going to sit there and just irritate and agitate your dinner. This was nice and light for a full-bodied mead, I guess would be a great way to put it. Whoa, bumping the table. So if you get a chance, check out Honey Hawk Meadery, all their flavors, pretty kick-ass stuff. I'm going to take a drink off of this before I can spill it. Oh yeah, big on the hazelnut, big on the chocolate, got that really nice imperial stout taste to it. Vanilla is definitely there on the backside, tiny splashes of vanilla. What was the other one they say in there? Oh yeah, coffee, chocolate, yep, hazelnuts, toasted coconut. I guess you know what, I should say it's all blended so well. If I try to, if I look hard enough, I can probably pick out all those flavors individually. But the structure, the complexity, the build on this is so well done. There's no need to. I mean, you just drink it and let it do its thing, and you just sit back and relax. It's like going on a roller coaster. You just hold on for the ride and let it do its thing and just enjoy it as it goes. Because when these cats know how to do what they're doing, these mead makers, these brewers, I'm assuming craft spirits are the same way. Never been a huge spirits guy. Bourbons are, I can appreciate a nice bourbon, barrel aged something. So I imagine that I enjoy a nice bourbon. But yeah, so just do what you do when you drink this stuff from these cats, these Honey Hawk or Horus aged ales from Kyle, because his stuff is definitely top notch stuff. All right, so. What else we got going on? Oh, it's Tuesday night, so we gotta get into the family stuff a little bit. It's been a pretty quiet week on the home front as far as all that goes. My youngest son Grayson is losing teeth left and right. He's like a DJ Khaled. He's out there, another one, just pulling them out of his mouth, top, bottom. He got like missing like 4 or 5 teeth, I think, within the past couple weeks. And yeah, it was. It had me concerned for a second. I mean, not like concerned, but I was like, dude, are you even gonna be able to eat until the rest of your teeth come in? But he's got it figured out, and so, Tooth Fairy's paying out in ducats and shelling out, man. It's been a light lightning of the Tooth Fairy's coin purse, so to speak. You know what I mean? Which is cool, but man. I was genuinely concerned for a second about how that little kid was going to be eating his food. He don't miss a beat though. That kid, nothing can stop that kid. He's doing good in school still, which is very thankful because he's had some behavioral problems, but he's getting along, which is great. And we're still waiting to hear back on his acceptance into the gifted program. We talked to them parent-teacher conference. I think the parent-teacher conference was in October, and then we had a meeting again with them in December, and they still hadn't heard back yet. So fingers crossed they let him into the gifted program and get him more funding and more stuff for their school and better stuff and help him along on his individual program and learning structure and help him just be a better student and everything like that. Who doesn't want to be in the gifted? Well, I mean, I guess there's some kids that probably don't want to be in the gifted program, but I think he'll be no worse for the wear. He'll be better for the whole thing. So let's put it that way. My older son, Sky, that kid is entering his second quarter of junior high now. We are done with the hard computer science class. He definitely is not going to be a scientist, or not a computer engineer anyway. That kid does not like anything that has to do with programming, anything that has to do with writing code, doing websites, anything like that. He likes computers for video game purposes and internet, YouTube, and stuff like that. But he does not want to do anything working or business related on him. Which I try to tell him otherwise. That's the way of the future, man. But he doesn't listen to me. So he's on to culinary, which is something I think he is really, really passionate about. So he's excited about going into the culinary program at his school, and he got. I can't remember what all they said they were going to be making, but he said they were going to be doing, I know they asked for biscuits and dish soap. I hope those don't go together. That's not going to be very good if that's the case. But, yeah, so they'll be doing, I think he said his friends last year they did brownies, or last quarter they did like brownies and something else. So I imagine it's going to be, 7th grade, junior high level. Lauren is definitely not fully supportive of their choices. She thinks they should be doing a lot more like basic level stuff and teaching them the fundamentals. How to make, if you're going to make biscuits, let's show them how to make them from scratch. Let's use the flour and the baking soda and everything, as opposed to just getting a can of frickin' popping fresh and crack them open and do them up that way. She wants to see them do it up and learn proper ways to hold a knife and all this, how to use measuring cups properly, the difference between a wet measuring cup and dry measuring cup, all these things that if you're going to be in culinary and choose that type of career path, these are some really fundamental entry level things. So, and I agree 100%. I think they should be teaching those things as well. And I guess we don't know that they're not. It just didn't appear that was the way it was going based on their curriculum. So I'm give the teacher the benefit of the doubt. I know they got a lot on their plates. So just hoping that goes. But he's excited about it, which I guess is the good thing. He's excited about going to culinary, and he's already got a decent grade in there. It's been a couple weeks. It hasn't been haven't gotten any notices about missing assignments or anything from any of his classes, which I'm definitely on board with. We got standard home economics. Yeah, it's not even really home economics stuff. I mean, because they don't do any of like the sewing and teach them, life, like check balancing and those types of things. This is solely just culinary class. But yeah, those are the standard things that they should have been. That's what we're saying. They should be teaching them those same types of standard, home ec skills that everybody else learned in home ec. But like I said, they may be, they may not be. I'm not exactly sure. I may give the teacher the benefit of the doubt at this point and say that she does have a plan to teach kids the proper way to do some stuff, be it not making everything from scratch. At least he's going to give them a quick overview of the kitchen. I got a sneeze coming on. Holy cow. And now it's not going to come in here. Woo! So, definitely excited to see where that goes with him. And then he's got another class called Environmental Adventures. And this class is like, it's like gardening and cleaning up the environment. Like, because they plant stuff around the school, plants, trees, shrubs, succulents, all that type of stuff. And then they're doing like a community cleanup, I guess. They're going to like a riverbed, a park that's in an old riverbed or something, and doing a park cleanup type thing. So excited to see that he's excited in that class as well. He's definitely enjoying the more social aspects of all that. He likes being, getting and participating and taking care of the environment and being socially conscious and being a social citizen, a good global citizen, globally environmental citizen. Whatever it is, he wants to help save the planet and do things that are, beneficial that way. So can't fault him for that. He hasn't said anything crazy about wanting to shut down nuclear power or anything, but he definitely wants to stay in the realm of healthy living and healthy environment and all that jazz. So, which is good on him, because I'm trying to been pushing that on him. It means he's actually been listening to what we've been saying, despite his best efforts to, give us "I don't know" and "what" as answers to everything, as I'm sure most kids do. Because, that's how we do it. As parents, get to listen to that. I'm sure my mom can attest that I was similar. "Why'd you do that?" "I don't know." Kid's standard answer. So, what else we get into? Oh, this is the same beer if you saw me post. Over the weekend, I did a post from when we went hiking. Took the bottle out, brought it out for the hike. Was going to pop it out there, but man, it was so busy on the trail. Usually this particular trail we're on isn't quite that busy. I can kind of get away with sneaking off and taking a drink, but man, this place was just popping and out of control. So I ended up bringing it back down. I had it in a lunchbox with a cold pack and in a backpack, so it didn't get temperature hurt or anything like that. But I was really disappointed, because I was looking forward to drinking this on top of the old mountaintop up by the flag. So, doing our weekend hikes again. We were doing those pretty regularly before and kind of did them intermittently during COVID, and really trying to pick that back up. Mama Bear is practicing up for her Prescott Circle hike. She wants to go up in Prescott, where Superstition Meadery is at, or in that area anyway. They're in Prescott. The hike that she wants to go in is in the Prescott area, but it's like a 53 mile loop called the Prescott Loop, and it goes around the whole Prescott area. It's very close to a lot of, it's really close to in town, so people can go do like day hiking in sections of it. I guess it's got a ton of different, like 8 or 9 different legs, or 11 or 12 different legs. Or different. You can park here and go do a day hike, or you can park in these other areas that have, like, I guess maybe long-term parking, and you can go do like the whole 53 miles, or you can hike it, or you can bike it, whatever you want to do. So it's a new thing that they've finished within the past year or two. Apparently gets a lot of use. It's really popular with all the hiking clubs and adventure groups and stuff on Facebook and Reddit and whatnot. So all those cats speak its praises. She wants to go hike it and do it. Her and the kids are probably going to go do that. I'm assuming they're going to try, from what I understand, they're going to try to do about 10 to 12 miles a day if they want to crack down. If you got 53 miles and you're trying to, get it done in, 4 days, 5 days, you're looking at, a minimum of 12 miles a day. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60 days, 60 miles. I mean, four 12-mile days, and then a short change day, or, you know, maybe a little heavier on a day where you got a little, you know, flatter ground. And it seems to be a pretty well-defined path, like well groomed and maintained path. So should be able to keep a decent pace on there. From what I have seen of videos and about it, though, the biggest thing is it's a heavily bicycled path. There's lots of people out there on mountain bikes. Excuse me. And there's some pretty high-speed sections that look like there's some kind of sharp corners. So, you know, you just have to be on your best lookout to not get smashed over by somebody come flying around on a bike, because tell you what, that wouldn't bode well for anybody involved. Getting flying off a bike at frickin' 30 miles an hour, hitting somebody and getting hit by a bike. Yeah, whew, that'd be a bad time all around. So definitely something to be cautious of out there. But all in all, I'm super excited for them to be able to go do this. I unfortunately have to work and do mead related stuff, but I'm excited for them. So they're planning that here actually the trail doesn't even open up until spring, sometime in the early spring, because snowpack and all that stuff. So I don't think they're going to get out there quite. If they go out there like when it very first opens, there's a strong chance that there's still going to be snow on portions of the trail. So I think they're going to be looking maybe towards like more like middle spring, maybe closer to summer, before it really starts. They definitely don't want to go out there in the full summertime, because even up in Prescott, it can still get up into the 90s and stuff, and it's kind of miserable to hike out and all that. But definitely in the, you know, somewhere where it's comfortable. I'm excited for them for that too. Yeah, so hiking, beer, kids, family stuff, Horus Age Ales, Honey Hawk Meadery, good times to be had by all. What else we have going on in TK and Drinks land? We've got programming notes. We are currently putting out the feelers and taking in the infos for new TK and Drinks What's the Story interviews. We've got two of them lined up for, two of them lined up. Pretty sure I have dates locked down for two of them. And I've got probably about 6 or 7 more out that I'm still waiting to hear back from. These guys are all busy. I try not to push them. You know, if somebody doesn't get back to you within 24 to 48 hours, you know, it's not always the case. Sometimes your stuff goes to spam inbox. Sometimes it, you know, like I said, people are busy. I always got time to get back to you. But I got the feelers out, lots of different places, trying to get some of those new, fresh, What's the Story interviews from cats all around the country, larger commercial meaderies, smaller, newer commercial meaderies. Looking to get another group of some homebrewer type cats in there as well. So like I said, trying to get more of all that stuff that makes the TK and Drinks What's the Story interviews so great, and expand out on those and continue even into greaterness, if that's greatness or greatness, more greatness. Let's go with that one. Out into more greatness. So got all those, and mixed in with all that, we're also putting the feelers out to put up another edition of TK and Drinks. Whoa! Notifications window over top of the screen. There we go. To put out another episode of TK and Drinks Meeting of the Minds. Oh, what's going on, Tony? How you doing tonight, brother? Thanks for joining me. Appreciate any time you can spare to watch a little bit of my live chaos. So yeah, amongst the What's the Story interviews we're planning for the coming months, I am also planning for to bring in more of the past mead makers that we've enjoyed on those interviews, and set up another meeting of the minds. I'm actually trying to set up, I think, one that might have, if everything goes as everything goes as planned, that I'll have a new interview with a new mead maker mixed in with some of the older guys that I've been talking to on the past. So 2 former interviews, 1 new interview, and I'm really fingers crossed that I can pull this all off, because this would be some big names on the TK and Drinks interview series there. over on the YouTube channel. Anybody who's never been there, I suggest to go give it a shot. Check it out. TK and Drinks on the YouTube channel. I do mead interviews, mead reviews, and all that type of stuff. So get all that stuff lined up. We'll have hopefully all of February and all of March lined up. So every Tuesday in March or February and March about this same time, and we'll be adding to the TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live, bringing in those interviews and meet, like I said, mead makers around the country, home brewers on larger scale. More actually trying to get a couple other YouTube mead makers in there as well, and just blow up the TK and Drinks channel. Advocate for the mead for the mead industry as hard as I can, and it's how we do it here on TK and Drinks. And get back into my Horus aged ales. Anybody who missed it, every Tuesday night, TK and Drinks Tuesday Night Live, we get into a brew. This brew we're getting into today is my Cocoa Dose from the Horus aged ales. I always hate how this freaking thing never focuses. There we go. Horus aged ales, Cocoa Dose, chocolate, coffee, hazelnut, toasted coconut, and vanilla. No cinnamon in this one. I think a cinnamon might actually have been a pinch. I'm a big fan of cinnamon. I think it might actually have been a little overkill in this one, but like I said, it blends so well. This thing has such a nice structure, such a well developed complexity to it. You get all those flavors. You can search for them. You can pick out a single flavor here and there if you really hunt for it. But the real way to enjoy this is just to let it wash down. And like I said, ride it like a roller coaster. Just put your hands on it, hold on, and just take a whole. Go up, get the hazelnut, get the chocolate, the coffee's in there, the vanilla dances throughout. Just enjoy the whole experience. Like I said, I'm a huge proponent for everything that Horus Aged Ales does, and Honey Hawk Meadery, because those dudes have put it down. Everything I've had from them so far has been nothing less than like a 4.5, 4.25. And like I said, their first mead that they entered into a competition, or one of their first meads, their Blueberry Mellow Mel took gold at Mazer Cup this year. I was there. I got to see it with my own eyes. I saw it happen. They took that freaking gold medal, which was legit as fuck, because that's a big ass competition. Entries from all over the world, and to be basically the first time you're in there and you swinging your dick around, and all of a sudden, boom, you come out with a gold medal in the sweet category. I mean, you're going up against cats. I would imagine, I didn't see everybody who entered the category, but you're imagining going against like Manic Meadery, you're going against like Bone Flower, you're going against Honey Pot, you're going against Maniacal, Shrams. You're going against some of these serious big name cats, and these guys come out, like I said, first year, first entry, and pull a big fat W gold medal out of there. Good for them. Everybody should be lucky enough. Now, these guys' stuff is unfortunately ridiculously hard to get a hold of in a lot of cases. I don't think they do a whole lot of distribution outside of like the immediate Oceanside area. There might be some bottle shops in the SoCal area. I'm 99.9% sure you cannot get it outside of California through legal means without having somebody like go proxy for you and go down there and pick it up and ship it to you, which I guess is still kind of even questionable technically. But they don't have like an online store where you can just go buy it from them. And I'm pretty sure you even have to be, for some of their flavors, you have to be part of their, I believe they call it a convocation member. They're part of their paid membership club, and those guys have to pay in their dues every year and get all this crazy access to unique stuff. So yeah, if you ever see anybody in any of the beer circles or anything talking about they've got Horus stuff, empty Horus collectibles for trade, definitely do yourself a favor. If you'd like anything that's even remotely in the flavor profile, you look it up. I say pull the trigger on that one, because you're probably gonna like it. This one is rated, what do we got on Untapped here is this one's a 4.25. Me and my buddies have rated it, I think, a 4.5 and a 4, yeah, 2 4.5s. So it's legit, like I said. And some of their other stuff, they have one called Double Dose, which is a double dose of their one called Proper Dose, and I want to say that thing in like the if you can find one on the secondary market, is going to be probably like 60-70 bucks for one of these bombers. It's not technically a bomber. There's like a 650 bottle. It's like a pint and change. But yeah, I mean, even brand new, they're still in the, you know, $45 to $55 range for some of these bottles. But you think you're paying on the space for the rent for that thing? I mean, how many these things are sitting for 12 plus months sometimes? So that's all the time he's got invested into put all of the ingredients in there without going to get any return, no ROI on that. It's just going to sit there. You got to pay rent on all that stuff, and then you got to get all the bottle. I mean, I understand why they charge what they do, and plus, if these guys are using, and which I'm sure Kyle is, using premium ingredients, he never says what kind of vanilla, but I doubt he's going out and buying artificial vanilla extract. He's probably using legit beans from, you know, Mexico, Madagascar, or somewhere in, you know, Uganda or Africa, maybe Tahiti. Any of the usual suspects. The point is, the dude's buying quality vanilla, quality cocoa. He's, I'm sure, doing fair trade and stuff. The quality speaks for itself. I know I always wax prolific about all the different things I'm drinking and everything, but I try to give people justification. A lot of people can't, you know, see a bottle like this and say, man, that's $25, that's $35 for that. I can't, you know, that's a lot for a beer. It's like, yeah, well, you have to understand that this isn't just a beer. This is, think about all the time and energy and things and the quality of the product that go in to make a quality product. Plus, you got the guy's got the skill. You're paying for him to not fuck it up. You're paying for everything to, you know, come out the other side. So when a guy sits there and makes these kick-ass beers and then switches over, or not switches over, but adds to his staple a meadery and sends out, in the first year that they're going, sends out a mead to the biggest mead competition in the world, arguably the world. I'm pretty sure it's one of the biggest in the world, Mazer Cup. But sends it out there and takes a gold in the sweet category against, like I was saying, some of those big names that they're going against. Man, it's hard to not wax prolific, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at in all regards, to be honest with you. So, I don't know. Yes. So, one of the other things I wanted to talk about coming up on the TK and Drinks YouTube channel, we're bringing in a couple new series, at least one new series. I'm thinking about adding in another one as well. So I want to add in an educational series, potentially something where I could bring in mead makers or home brewers that have a lot of experience in one particular area and kind of just blow up and expand out on that. You know, I get people asking me about judging and different types of you know, just general questions about mead styles and whatnot. So I think if I did an educational type of piece, you know, these are the different, break down the different styles, break down kind of a little more what it's taken in to go into, get ready to be a judge on the BJCP level, or even just on, you know, on how to better be a better judge in general. There was a great series out there from Josh Holbrook, who is a former AMMA Home Brewer of the Year, and called Better Judging Mead, just over on YouTube. I highly suggest you, if you're really into mead at all, I highly suggest you go watch it. Or home brewing, judging meads, anything. If you like mead, go watch this series, because it talks with some really cool dudes. Again, Josh interviews, I think it was 6 different people. Carvin Wilson, Tom Repas, who else? Steve Fetty was on there. Ken Schramm was on there. And there's 2 other, and I feel terrible for forgetting who they were. But I'm pretty sure it was 2 other guys on there as well. And it was just a great series talking about, you know, how to basically just be a better mead judge in the mead world that we have today. Ooh, spinny. So I think about adding in and picking up kind of, I say necessarily where that left off, but kind of taking off on that and doing a, you know, let's break down what does it mean to be a good traditional. You know, if you're going to enter a competition, you want to enter an M1A, a dry traditional. What does that mean to be a dry traditional? You know, beyond just the, ooh, excuse me, that was a delicious burp, to be honest. I know it's gross, but God, that was tasty. what does it mean to make a good dry traditional? Not just what does it mean to, but I mean what constitutes a good dry traditional beyond just the numbers, beyond the gravity reading and beyond the residual sugar and beyond that stuff. What should you be looking for? And that's where I was thinking, I could bring in some of these other mead makers and talk to these cats about it, because they have the experience that I lack in those areas. But I have the questions and access to all the information about who wants to do what and how they can do these things. And if people are coming here looking for those, I would love to be able to provide that information to everybody. So I'm definitely thinking about racking out a new educational series. I use that term loosely because I have to label things because that's the way my brain works. But do something like that, a new series where we're kind of diving into the BJCP side of things, since that is a big focus on what I'm doing and learning and practicing and all that stuff. So, plus I think it would be good material for home brewers out there to be able to reference going into, hey, if I want to go make a dry traditional, boom, here I can go reference this video, and I'm not talking making like hour-long interviews and stuff like that. This would be try to make a little quicker, like little 20-30 minute videos tops. Hey, get in, get out, bang, bang, bomb, all information. That's what I'm trying to do with a lot of my stuff. I try to cut out the fluff. I try to let as much of my personality shine through because it is bright and shiny. But ultimately, I'm not trying to waste anybody's time. People's time is precious, and they one of the things I hate when you say like car repairs. You're going to look for a car repair. It's like, I want to YouTube how to change this. Where's the sensor located, or how to change this or whatever. And you go through and you see all these videos and they're like 12, 14, 15 minutes long. It's like, really, this only should be like 3 steps. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. And it's sitting there, this guy's got this backstory about when he bought the car and, the reason why he chose, this package with it and that package, and how you need to, be sure to, before you do all this, be sure to wipe your tires down with the Armor All. Just a bunch of crap, and really it's like, 2 minutes worth of video would be all I need. Here's when you unplug, do it this way, unratchet that, click this in, ratchet that back down, plug that back in, boom, you're good to go. That's what I'm saying, 2 minutes in, out. So I want to be able to get these videos something that, people can really just digest real quick. I need a quick reference. Hey, I want to make a, like I said, I want to make a sweet metheglin. Who made a good, boom, got the sweet metheglin reference, type it in, TK drinks come up. Hey, this is somebody who's, won a medal of some sort in that category, and give some tips and tricks and how-tos and what they did for those particular brews, and let it do what it, let the series ride for what it is. Because I want people to be able to come to TK and Drinks, not just for, I like providing the reviews for me. It's kind of a guilty pleasure of my own, because I get to drink all these delicious meads and kind of wax prolific about it. I want people to be able to come in and come to TK and Drinks channel and learn something beyond just, oh, that was a good mead. I want to be able to use it as like a reference for bettering their own mead making. Even if I'm not a mead maker myself, what I can do is I can use my TK and Drink skills and patchwork and network all these things together, and I can't make a great this, but I know people who can, and I can provide you with that information through this medium. Boom, here you go. Other people have lots of homebrew experience, maybe even have their own homebrew YouTube channels. There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of things. Men out there making mead, people out there in the city, kind of steading around doing stuff. All those cats are home brewing type people, and have that experience to draw on and have those references. I don't have that, but I have something that they don't, which is the TK Drinks panache and the cojones and huevos to reach out to commercial mead makers and put my name out there. I don't necessarily think that any of those guys necessarily may not have that testicular fortitude, but I do. I'm doing it, and I'm going to make the best out of it, because I want to bring, if somebody who's won a bunch of awards can give you some information on how to do something, why is that not a great, great resource to provide to people? So that's what I'm going to do, and really looking forward to bringing that to people. I always say I'm trying to do this, and these are new things, only because, try not to, what's the whole knock on wood, you know, just to hope everything comes through. But you know, ultimately, I just want to help the mead community. You know, I talk about advocating for the mead community. That's really what I want to do. I want to advocate for the brand, and I want to give the most amount of people the most positive mead experience possible when they look up TK and Drinks, when they think TK and Drinks. I want them to be able to think, that guy, I might not always agree with what he says, but I know what he's bringing me is quality content. I don't have to like the flavors, I don't have to like this, but he's not ill-intentioned, and he's coming at it with you know, the best of intentions, so to speak. So heck yeah, amen to do that. Yes. So thank you. I'm glad that my regular viewers think that that's a good idea, because I like using this little bit of time to bounce ideas off you guys as well. Everybody who watches this in the future is probably like, what the heck is going on? This guy's using it like his personal blog. And yeah, you know what? I kind of am, but that's the benefit of having your own Instagram live thing. You get to do whatever you want to do with it. So, I don't know if you can see that. I mean, this thing is just like, it's almost like a beer with legs. You got so much character and uniqueness to it. Now, there are some people that said it has kind of like a copper penny type of taste, and I would definitely say it definitely leans a bit metallic-y as the warmer it gets. You know, when it's nice and icy cold right out of the fridge, it's all that uniqueness, funkiness is suppressed. So again, not being a beer brewer especially, I don't know what would potentially cause something to have a slightly metallic type of taste. I personally, given the ingredient profile on this one, think it might be the coffee. And you know, I'm not a big coffee drinker, and I know a lot of different coffee profiles kind of have that, you know, the bitterness can kind of take over and, you know, give it that metallic-y type of taste. So I'm going to say this is just probably heavy in the coffee, and the metallic-y taste is probably a misidentification of a coffee flavor. There's a lot of people out on Untapped that are just writing shit to write shit because they don't know. They just go into something, oh, that tastes like, and that's what it is. You know, stop. Use your freaking goddamn critical thinking skills and understand just because something tastes a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is. Because it tastes a little bit metallic, no, it's probably the coffee. It's probably a coffee that you've never tried before. Because lots of coffee, when they have those really deep, dark roasts, can kind of pick up that, like I said, that strong bitterness could come across a little bit metallic. In a mead, in a beer, in a, yeah, again, I haven't seen a whole lot of coffee liquors. And the coffee that I have seen in liquor, you know, like what, Kahlua, and I guess there was a Starbucks liqueur for a while and stuff, or Frangelico. You know, those things are all so sugar coated and everything. You're not going to get that nasty bitterness. But in a nice aged ale where they're really trying to draw out that strong character, that strong, true coffee character, you're going to get a bit of that. So, but not being a coffee drinker, I definitely understand the meh-ness to it. But it is what it is. Like I said, I think the overall roller coaster ride, just take a drink and enjoy it for what it is much more in line with the way these should be enjoyed. Almost has this like peanut butter type aroma. Like, get the chocolate, get that hazelnut. It has this very, it smells smooth. I guess there's a hint of the alcohol in there too. It is fairly strong. At 12%, wasn't expecting it to be kicking my ass, but it's doing all right. It definitely has a, like I said, the warmer it gets a little bit of that alcohol and some astringency back there, but 12%, it certainly does not taste like 12% alcohol in there. I'll give you that. What else do we got going on? Got that new series. Got the meeting of the minds. We got the scheduling the new interview series, or the new interviews for the interview series. Not a new series, but get the new interviews going in. Definitely excited about all that. And what else? Oh, there's some more mead competitions coming up here, and I've been trying to think of. A lot of them, because of COVID, are going back to online and virtual and stuff like that. So I was thinking about entering some of those as a judge, but I'm not really sure what would be the best route to go with that. Like, I don't know if it would be the best to go with some of these ones that are going completely virtual, or if it'd be better to try to find ones that are doing in person. Like Texas Mead Cup is coming up, and they're doing a split one where you have to do like your preliminary. The first round, I guess, is at home, and you have to like team up online with your partner and do like it over Zoom or something like that. And then you have to make it out to Texas, out to, I believe, Rohan Meadery. I want to say they're in like the Dallas-ish area. But you got to make it out to their spot for the in-person one for the second round of judging. So I'm not really quite sure if I want to get involved with something like that. And there's a lot of things going on overseas. But I really think I'm going to try to find some local homebrew competitions. But not a whole lot of the local competitions seem to have mead categories. Not the ones that I've seen anyway. I know a lot more are than that. A lot more are adding it than used to. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing a whole hell of a lot of that here, at least immediately in the Phoenix greater area. There might be some here, maybe over in like LA or up in Las Vegas or something like that. But yeah, nothing so far here in the Phoenix area. Been looking, there's a couple homebrew groups, but they don't seem to be, again, focused on mead. They're much more focused on beer, and mead is kind of like the aside, oh hey, there's also mead, so if there's people that do that as well. I haven't found any mead specific groups, which would be cool if there was. I'd definitely be able to, would want to support them and help them out the best I can. So I guess if there's anybody out there that watches this 50 minutes into my live thing that I post recorded later, get at me, let me know what's going on, and I would definitely love to join in to the party. 6:47. Got through everything, got all my notes down. Actually took notes this week, which was awesome, because I usually don't do that, but I actually had notes and whatnot, and I feel it went really well. I definitely talked about the beer more than I wanted to, or more than I intended to, not more than I wanted to, because I know once I get started talking about these things, I really just kind of wax prolific about them. But yeah, that's always fun. Okay, so TK and Drinks mead review is the biggest. Let's go over what the current programming is. This week we had drop the Elliott Blueberry Mead from Manic Meadery there in Crown Point, Indiana. That's their flagship blueberry mead made with orange blossom honey. It is absolutely wonderful. Go scope out that review if you have not seen it yet. And go check out the interview with Tony Qualls as well in the interviews playlist, or just search TK and Drinks Manic Meadery and it'll pop right up on there. Dude is super cool, super nice. I mean, those guys are just a great group of people there at Manic Meadery. Actually, today they just ended up donating $8,020 something, 200 something, $8,000 plus to Upper Reach Meadery. So if you watched my interview with him back when it happened, or if you afterwards, or if you've seen it, we'd spoke briefly about they had a mead there called Perseverance, which was a collab they did with this meadery Upper Reach in Pennsylvania, who had ended up getting wiped out due to storm-related damage from a hurricane that blew through earlier this year. All the proceeds from this one particular flavor, this collab bottle that they did, was going to them. Well, I guess today they ended up blasting over a $8,000 plus thing on there. They posted it up on their social media. Go follow them over there, Manic Meadery, on all their socials. But they put that up there, $8,000 some odd that they posted up, and they're still selling more of it. So there's still a good chance there's still a chance that they can blast even more ducats over and you know, help fill them coffers back up. I think their goal was, man, I think their goal was 100 G's. Hopefully they can get there. I'm not sure what they're at. I have not looked at it, but I doubt they're at $100,000 yet. So if anybody over there is dying to help a meadery that really, some legit people that suffered some completely out of their control, psycho crazy stuff, look into Upper Reach. Those guys are definitely deserving of the love. See here, Tony says, I stopped drinking beer for New Year's resolution. Only water and mead will live vicariously through your beer talks. You know, man, I had also thought about doing that as well, given, you know, cutting back on the IPAs and the what. I saw one the other day, this one brand here called Smooj, S-M-O-O-J. They have a fruited hard seltzer, and seltzers are probably one of the lowest calorie alcohol delivery vehicles, and this thing is heavily fruited. 290 calories in a 12-ounce can, and this thing is designed to be low calorie. Man, it really got me thinking to like a 16-ounce IPA, like triple IPA, like really, between all the wheat and, or not wheat, but all the hops and everything, like these things gotta be in the, man, 400, 500 calories for a 600, or for a 16-ounce can, man. You drink 3 of those in a night, that's damn near an entire day's worth of calories right there. I mean, I always kind of knew in the back of my head, you know, these big heavy stouts, that's a lot of calories, huh? But I mean, you just really start thinking about it. That one bottle's probably got, if I could probably drink that and be done with calories for that. I could be like 1,800 calories right there, and you're just done. So yeah, I definitely get the cutting back on the beer and just going with water and meat. I cut out pretty much everything. Yeah, exactly. Lots of carbs, lots and lots of sugar in these things, lots of carbohydrates. Yeah, I pretty much try to cut out everything that's not water, beer, or mead at this point. And see if I wasn't really a big soda drinker. I mean, I still drink tea, but I cut out any sugar or cream, anything like that in my tea or my coffee. If I do drink some coffee occasionally, trying to drink those as straight as possible. Yeah, I guess, you know, everybody stumbles once in a while, have a cheat day, but you know, that is freaking hard. And if I could get down to where it was just water or mead, man, I think I'd genuinely be in a pretty good place. Although my crave for mead would probably drive my pocketbook straight into the poorhouse, because that's definitely the benefit of some of these beers. Are a lot cheaper than mead. But hey, you know, somebody who brews and home makes a ton of mead there, Tony, you definitely have that up on me. So I am definitely envious of that. Oh, and one last thing we can get into. I can't believe how I forgot this. One of the things I did this past week was I finally bottled up my mead that I made at TK and Drinks in the house. TK and Drinks homebrew. I cracked one bottle open and drank it already because I was impatient and I really wanted to see how it was cold and how it lived through the whole thing. Got 3 more of these. TK and Drinks, first edition. Very first. Mesquite, Blossom, Honey, Sweet, Traditional Meads. That is after... damn it, don't have that frickin' flashlight with me still. Yep, these are still meads. Yes, it's a still mead there, Tony. Hoping that you're not going to say that's a really poor idea to stick a still mead in a swing top bottle. But that's all I had. I didn't have any corking devices. I didn't have like a floor corker or a bench corker or anything like that. And I did have these swing top bottles. So if they don't last, unfortunately they don't last. But I plan on making more. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do another video with it or not, or if I'm going to do like an overall video or whatever. But I do have 3 of these bottles left that I'm going to share around. But I guess my more important thing that I was getting at is, look at that. Nothing at the bottom. No floaties. No floaties, no particulates in there. No, I mean, it's definitely opaque. I mean, you can't see through. I mean, I can barely kind of see the screen and light through there, but I mean, there's no sediment on the bottom of it or nothing. It's been sitting there for a couple days now. So I'm pretty proud of myself as far as that goes. I managed to rack it 2 different times. One time by screwing up and just pumping the shit out of it with my siphon. And I didn't stir up a bunch of shit and got, again, 4 bottles out of it that were 4 or 500 ml. These are 500 ml bottles, so I got, what was that, 2 liters out of my 1 gallon thing after a generous amount of stealing out of it and not initially putting enough water in it and whatnot. So I'm proud of it. It doesn't taste like rocket fuel. It's definitely got a nice warming sensation to it. Has a very traditional mesquite blossom honey taste to it. Very smoky, very earthy type of characters to it. Very sweet. It is, again, on the sweet side. 11.5%, which actually, looking at the packet of the yeast and everything I use, I could have swore it said 15% tolerance on there. It says up to 12%. So if I got 11.5 out of it, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think I stalled it out or anything. I think it pretty much finishes fermentation, and this is ready to go. So I'm actually pretty happy with the final product and everything. So I really try to hold on to one of these bottles for as long as I can, but I want to get them out and get them shared and talk to some cats about them and see how we do. So hopefully I do my best to save one for you, Tony. We need to find a way to meet up. I don't know if you're coming up to America or if I'm going down to Mexico, but we're gotta make that happen sometime. I'd love to have that happen in 2022, but international travel right now is a real fucking bitch, unfortunately. So, yeah. But I'm gonna do my best to hold on to one of those bottles for you because I owe it to you, if nothing else. So that means I'm working with 2 bottles to share around. I'm just happy, like I said, that it didn't come out tasting like didn't come out tasting like rocket fuel, and didn't come tasting out like over-processed chemical. You can't taste any nutrients in it. I think I pretty much got all that stuff dialed in. I think it would be a little, like I said, a little boring, a little flat. Could use some acidity, something to brighten it up a little bit. I'm talking just a pinch of acidity or something. I'm not trying to make this thing like really burn your tongue down. Maybe if it had been aged, if I throw some oak in it or something like that, just something just to give it a little more uniqueness. It's okay for what it is, but it needs something a little bit more. So at least I can recognize that, and I can identify what it needs to make it better, so I can improve on those next time, which is going to be with probably just a desert wildflower. Yeah, desert wildflower honey, traditional. I'm gonna aim to try to go to semi-sweet. I'm gonna look into trying to do it straight through fermentation. I don't know what that's gonna take. I'm gonna have to read a lot more about sugar breaks and be taking readings much more frequently. But I need to still. The big thing I need to get is thermometers. I gotta get temperature, not temperature control, but temperature monitoring. So at least I can know what my bottles are sitting at. I can throw some water in it, let it sit down where it's going to be sitting while it's fermenting. Get that thermometer reading off of there. And at least know, okay, now I need to look for a yeast that's going to, ferment in this range happily and be good to go from there. So that's the plan for the new TK and Drinks homebrew. I got the honey on deck already. I've got the fermenters all cleaned out, ready to go. And it's just a matter of doing a little bit of research and devoting the time to that between shooting videos, doing meat distribution stuff, going to work, having family life, and having some TK time, or trying to anyway, which usually ends up being something meat related. So that's how we do on TK and Drinks. Rolling up on the 7 o'clock mark here. I'm going to be shutting it down because your boy is hungry. It is now dinner time. And yeah, so I'm gonna go grab some food. I appreciate everybody who popped on here during the live video. Thank you always to Mama Bear for supplying me with the time here to do this uninterrupted. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you to my mom, Sherry, SJV, San Joaquin Valley Hippie Chick, for always showing up and giving support. Same with my man Tony. Muzin Cobb Meadery, go give him a follow over on the Instagrams if you have not. This dude is doing some wild, crazy, unique stuff down in Mexico. I know it's a bit late for a plug in the episode, but definitely go give him a shout out. He's doing some wild, crazy stuff and some kick-ass stuff. And cool thing about it is one of the only that I've seen bilingual posts. Gives you all your information in English and in Spanish. So for all the Spanish cats out there, don't think that he ain't gonna. He got you. Got you in English and Spanish. So that's my man Tony, Muslim Community. Go give him a follow. Everybody else, have a good night. Later.